Alrighty. Hello everybody. This is Kirusho here, and now, before we do get started, let me give a brief little review. In the last part, a number of events have happened. We had Deku. We also had Victor Von Doom. Now, these two were able to escape Hydra custody after they built an Iron Man suit for Izuku to wear. Now, the makeshift suit wasn't too powerful. It wasn't too durable. Deku did take a shot to his back. However, he managed to get down to the lab where he needed to be. Afterwards, he was able to get a massive suit they were building, similar to the Crimson Dynamo suit. He took it, broke Victor out, and then flew off. He dropped Victor Von Doom off at Latveria, where he took the suit, gave Izuku a jet, and a ride home, after letting him shower. Now, Deku confronted Captain America whenever he landed on his tower in a jet he didn't own, where he then clocked Captain America in the face hard. And people, they were alarmed by this. Deku seemed to be hysterical. Whenever he went to his room to try and calm himself down, he had Crystal come by, and he broke down in her arms. Now, with that being said, Izuku, he's trying to find the best way to explain this situation to everybody. I mean, 2 days ago he stepped off that jet. He then smashed Captain America in the face so hard, he thought he broke his hand. He met Mephisto, the devil. The more and more time goes on, the harder it becomes to just say some things are science. I mean, that's another thing. Right now, he needs to handle Steve. Okay, but claiming he's a Hydra agent, it's going to be challenging. He needs evidence. The Time Stone. Wade has it. This on his mind. Izuku trying to think about exactly where Deadpool might be hiding, where he'd be, where he'd go if he had the Time Stone. What would Deadpool do with that power? And this is currently on Izuku's mind. Him going to sit up and turn. Currently going to bring something up and go to place it over his ear as the holographic screen does go to appear over Izuku's red eye. He does go to someone's stand. Currently, him pressing the button as this device does expand over onto Izuku's left eye, before it does go to place something out and directly over his left ear. And it does go to begin popping up a holographic screen. And Izuku, he does gotta look around. Currently thinking about a lot of things he might need to do to find Deadpool. Wondering exactly how far he might have to go for the merc with a mouth. Or if he could just hire him. Could put the call out that Deadpool has a job. That Deadpool's needed for something. Unless it does make sense in his head. Do something crazy, erratic, and stupid. Okay. No. Placing a hit on himself would be too obvious. It might spook Cap. Okay, but would... No. Wade... Would he... God, he feels like he's skipping steps trying to just think of Victor Von Strange. No. What? No. His head must still be in a daze. Victor von... That's not right. Currently, Deku gonna turn. Before he does, gonna try and scan a few things. The air in the room is fine. There's no signs of toxins, no signs of anything. No holographic interference or... Okay, okay. His mind might not be fully healed. Okay, so... A psychological trauma? More than likely. He's just over stimulating his brain after a traumatic event. Right. Right, as if that's not impossible to do. Okay. Okay. Crystal, going to someone set up. Asking if he's okay. Hey, hey. No, I'm a little busy. Trying to get into contact with, Dr. Stephen Strange. Are you? Yes, I am. I don't expect you to understand, but there's a lot happening. If I try to explain it, it would go bad. How have things been on Attilan? Medusa, your other, well, your cousin. How are they? They're fine. Yeah. Okay, that's good. How's the kid? Not permitted on Attilan. I see. Well then, I guess we'll have to try and figure that out then later, huh? Possibly. But what will we do? I'm not exactly sure. Listen, I'd love to continue talking, but you have your own things to handle. I know. Handle them if you can. Let me know if you do need my aid. Right. I'll let you know. I'm gonna stand before taking these things off of his face and going down to his lab. And Deku, he does hear the new operating system in the tower begin to respond to him, expressing to him about how it has been some time since its last contact with him, and that his activation of her has definitely allowed it to be quite interesting. Designation? Yes. Hello. I am designated as Violet. I see. And what are your parameters? Not too different from my predecessor. As you will understand, Friday has programmed me. Along with that, she was quite concerned about my similarities to Miss Costa. Right. She has programmed me to be a little different. And she has also made sure to modify my vocal range. I see. That's good. Any more updates you would like to know? Not at the moment. Uh, Mark 12, actually, while I'm here. Yes, the Mark 12 has been constructed. Updating its designs was completed and done by Miss Friday. She felt like it was an accurate way to pass the time while we were searching for you. I see. Deku, having the door open up, stepping inside and seeing the Mark 12. It's just standing here in the middle of his shop. Currently, I'm going to walk over. Before he does, I'm going to stare this thing down and think about a lot. Deku bringing his hand up. As the suit, it is at a power on, and it's good to see the red arc reactor go to activate. Looking down and seeing that. Before he does, gonna bring his hand up in the suit. It does do one simple thing. It does go to begin to break in half. Currently, it gonna sit there and then begin to reshape itself directly around Izuku. Currently, him watching the parts begin to shift back his way and then gonna move accordingly. It going to sit directly down onto his shoulders before it is going to start building onto the gauntlets on the arms, onto Izuku's hands, and everything else. And Deku, he does feel the secondary skin on the suit actually begin to form down against his own. It feeling as if the suit is a part of himself. Another extension. Currently, the visor closing as Deku does see a lot of information. It asking if the visor is too close, before also at least expressing to Izuku about a few more pieces of information, some he might find interesting and important. Now, Deku, he does go through this checklist for his suit. Him just a little bit more happy about it. Now, after that's all said and done, Izuku, he does try to reach through comms. Currently trying to dial up Dr. Stephen Strange. And the call doesn't go through. This alarming Deku. Before he does try to call again. And nothing happens. That time concerning him even more. And Izuku, he does want to know what the hell's going on. Trying to call. Okay, let's call Thor. Nothing happened. Okay, Jennifer Walters. Nothing. Okay, Bruce Banner. Nothing. And this does kind of intrigue him. Deku trying to figure this all out. Before he is to call Spidey. Him gonna answer. Hello? Izuku, you alright? Hey, can you reach anyone else on comms? No, haven't really been reaching out. Who are you trying to contact? I tried contacting Doctor Strange. Really? He's a little busy from last what I heard. Okay. Peter, where exactly is the last thing you heard about Stephen Strange? Not much, really. Uh, some sort of secret mission? Him and a few Avengers. Why? Did Cap go on this mission? Uh, no, no. Did you need to talk to Cap or Steven? I need to talk to Doctor Strange. Huh. That's not good. Uh, what was it about? It was about a few things. Listen, it's not going to make sense to you, but if Captain America tells you to go somewhere, don't trust it. What? Peter, I'm being serious. Okay, okay. Is something wrong? For our sake, I'd hope not. What do you mean? You can talk to me. This is kind of important because it seems important. No, Pete, it's not important. Well, not to you. Deku hanging up. Before he does, go do one very simple thing. He sends a message out to the Illuminati before he is to fly off in the Mark 12. Deku making record time and going to arrive at the land of the dead. In this emergency meeting, Deku, he does wait, trying to think about what to do. Getting into Wakanda is not easy. However, this place, it's where they all meet. They should be here. and nothing happens. Deku doesn't even get a message back. He tries to reach out towards Mr. Fantastic. Gone. Nowhere to be found. And this does alarm him even more. Before someone, they do come walking down those stairs. Izuku does turn and see Captain America, who does stand there with the cosmic cube in hand, along with his nifty little suit of armor. And Izuku does ask, exactly what the hell is he doing here? You called a meeting, didn't you? Walking over and going to sit down, talking about it. He wanted to chat. So, chat. What is so important that he needed their attention? I needed everyone's attention. Well, you have mine. So, what exactly is so important to Suku? Because I don't think anyone else is coming. What did you do? Me? Oh, it's simple. I just acted accordingly. A threat to national security. You'd be amazed with what those words can buy you. Along with the idea that whenever everyone is fully restrained, there's a lot more that I could do. Steve, you're not you. You're Captain America. So why are you working with Hydra? Seriously. Why am I working for the bad guy? Have you ever stopped to consider they go flying forwards, currently bringing his hand down and going to throw it up. Captain America being sent flying out of his chair with his shield up. Currently him flying backwards and hitting onto the ground. Before Deku, he does gonna bring his hands up firing. Cap going to bring up the shield and go to reflect the attacks. One hitting the air, the heading back into the air and into the ceiling. Currently, Deku blasting out again before Cap does an angle his shield again, trying to get Izuku to hit himself with the attack. However, Deku, he does go to fly backwards, bring his hand up and firing a missile. Cap going to keep the shield up sturdy, before Izuku does have the missile fly down towards the man's feet and send him blasting backwards. Him going to fly into the wall and smashing into it, before landing down hard and trying to catch his breath. Now, Deku, whenever he does going to see Captain America on his knees panting, he does think that it's going to be time to restrain him. Take him in and try to explain everything. Find out where he's keeping everyone. It was Prison 42 last time, so that might be the best place to look. And Izuku, he doesn't hear a sound. Turning his head as a man does come walking down those stairs, asking the captain if he needs a hand. Izuku turning his head, before his eyes do to see a man with a symbol on his chest. And Izuku, he feels a little bit more intimidated as Hyperion stands there. And this does alarm Izuku, because if his data is correct, Violet, facial recognition already scanning, 90% match for Hyperion. 90? Yes. Slight variations in readings. Higher than expected. Keep me posted. Deku turning back to Captain America, as his chest does gonna have the shield get flown directly into it. And Izuku, he is gonna fly back. Currently, Cap catching his shield before expressing to Hyperion, yes, a hand wouldn't be so bad. If he could do him a favor and please take out the trash, it would be much appreciated. And Hyperion, he does something float there, his eyes beginning to glow. and Izuku does a turn. Before the man goes flying forwards and smashing towards Izuku. Deku bring up his hands, injuring a shield. Before the blast, it does a smash his shield and send Deku flying upwards. Currently, him a lot more alarmed, and his suit, it does begin to go violent with the readings. Currently, Deku flying over the ocean as he does look at his screen. This is not good. Shield integrity was broken through. Higher than expected? Yeah, okay. We're gonna have to crank everything up to 11 and make sure he's gonna be fine. Deku going to turn. Currently bringing his jets out and beginning to slow himself down. Before he has a turn back and look for Hyperion. Beginning to blast his way back there towards the land of the dead in Wakanda. Now, Deku does see Hyperion. Him flying in as Izuku's bring his own hands up. Currently going to jump everything up to 11 and smash right into Hyperion. The man taking the blow to the face before he's at a counter, bringing his hand up and smashing it into Deku's faceplate. Deku going to feel everything adjust and move inside of his suit. His plate not smashing into the front of his face, for Hyperion does try to pull it off. It going to have tendrils begin to fly off of the suit helmet as the man he does going to watch them writhe. And Izuku, he has a look face to face with Hyperion, who does going to bring his hand down, grabbing onto Deku's chest. Currently, him pulling up forwards his eyes due to glow, and Deku does create a shield that does going to protect him. Currently, Hyperion blasting directly into it and trying to break through it. Izuku putting all power to the shields before going to begin creating something on his right arm. And this, it does begin to help out. Deku calculating and making minor adjustments, since he's got some data on Hyperion, but it's not that good. Okay, let's hope this works. Deku activating something in his right arm. Before he does go to watch Hyperion begin to have his eyes glow again. Deku bringing his left hand up and going to send a massive pulse into Hyperion's body. Him going to move backwards as he's going to feel weak. Deku bring up his hand as Hyperion. He does go to throw this shield, throw the faceplate directly towards Izuku. Him going to blast out forward as Deku. He does it to fly forwards. Currently, him going to watch as the plate is a smash directly into Izuku and then going to attach to his chest. Before he has a throw up his right hand and blast out something directly towards him. Hyperion being sent flying backwards and beginning to move down towards the ground, before crashing into it. And Deku, he does stand there, his faceplate going back into its proper place and going to mend, as he does think. Okay. He needs to increase the radiation output. Maybe a bit more. No. This suit isn't made for Hyperion. Shit. Something's wrong, though. Hyperion getting back up. Going to stand and then wiping the blood from his mouth. Expressing. Damn. It's been a while since he's actually seen his own blood like this. He wouldn't think that an Iron Man could do that. Deku looking down. Beginning to fly down as his hand does still maintain the look of a weapon. Asking exactly what does he mean by that? An Iron Man. You don't get it, do you? Get what? Evil Captain America, evil Tony Stark, now what? Another Hyperion? Maybe you do get it. Let me guess. Another universe? On the right track. Definitely are. Though, yeah. I'm not gonna bother explaining it to you. Good. I wasn't asking. Now, Deku holding up his hand, telling this version of Hyperion that he needs to stop. He doesn't want to kill him. And the man is flying at Deku. Deku blasting out this radiation gun directly at Hyperion, who does a fly at him and begin to feel it weaken him. However, he has a blast out towards Deku's arm, and Izuku does to feel it punch into his shield. Currently, it going to cancel out. Now, Deku, he does to watch his shield take on this massive blow, feeling his suit be taxed as he has continued to blast out radiation. Hyperion floundering at him and smashing his fist out hard. This time, Izuku going to be sent careening up into space. Now, Deku, he is trying to slow himself back down. However, he's also trying to get into contact with anybody he can. This is Hyperion he's talking about, not a version he's used to. I mean, he's not sure how to handle this. Okay. To and over his head with a Mark 12? Definitely a little too in over his head. Okay. Good. He's got some breathing room. Violet informing him that that is not the case. As Izuku does look back down, currently watching as Hyperion is rocketing his way up at him, bringing his hands out and going to blast out at him with cosmic energy. And this, it does alarm Izuku. Currently, him activating boosters and going to move out of the way. Hyperion going to rocket past him at an amazing speed. And Izuku, he does try to think. Okay, so that's how the two are going to play it then. Though if he's going to be doing this, he needs something a little bit more flashy. Currently, Deku rocketing back down towards Earth and making his way there a little fast. Now, when Izuku is back in the atmosphere, he does get to do one simple thing. He does go to request the God Killer. And the suit does get to manifest. Deku going to fall, landing inside this new suit and going to spin, before blasting back up and into the stars. His current suit going to follow its own directives and head back to the tower. As right now Deku, he does come rocketing back in. And there actually is King Hyperion, who does get a turn. Currently, him trying to look around and see Iron Man. See where this version went. It's just going to be simple. Maybe just a little bit more fun than the usual times he does do it. But hey, this is something different. It's a new flavor of the multiverse. He gets to kill an Iron Man who puts up a fight. And he does that turn, hearing a sound as Deku smash his fist directly into his face. Currently, Hyperion begins flying through as Deku, he does continue to fly, charging in and blasting out faster, moving in and punching Hyperion with his left hand. And the man, he currently is sent careening through space. Deku laying into him with the blows. Hyperion blasting into Izuku as a plate does it form in front of him. The shield blocking the attack and bouncing it off. Before Deku has to throw his hand out and directly break through the barrier he made. Currently, him going to smash the fist down into Hyperion, pulling his hand back. And this is where Hyperion, he does continue to try and attack. The plates reforming from the shards and going to get sharper. This time them in a bit more of a cone-like pattern. And Hyperion's confused. Before Deku's to throw his fist forwards, directly into the cone, smashing these things down around him. Now, Hyperion, he does eventually crash into an asteroid. The massive meteorite going to break into two as the two do land. Deku standing over him before he's at least have what is best described as Force Shield Brass Knuckles all around his hands. And these gauntlets that are bulky, that are wide, are definitely sharp. They do stand there, along with an Iron Man suit. And Hyperion does look up at it. Sleek, impressive, a feat of engineering, with a glowing red arc reactor. Deku looking down with those glowing red eyes. And this does inspire something in Hyperion. Joy. Now, he has a fly at Drucky up, grabbing at Deku, who does gotta bring his arms down, buckling Hyperion's and headbutting him. As the man, he is sent flying backwards into the asteroid, Deku grabbing him and smashing him through with a punch. Hyperion being sent careening through the asteroid as it does go to split apart more. Currently, him flying off of one and Doki smashing through Deku's shields, smashing onto him as the two do sent flying through and hitting into several asteroids. Before Deku just sent a blast from his arc reactor directly into Hyperion. Hyperion taking the blow and trying to bring his hands down, trying to smash into him with all he can. And we do currently have back on Earth. There is Iron Man. The Mark 12 suit has arrived back over the tower, and people are trying to get information as to what exactly is happening. However, Violet, she has got to inform someone here about how the God Killer is currently active. And Carol does express, asking exactly what the hell is happening, before someone they do go to express to her that what's happening right now is quite simple. She's going to need to stand down. Her turning and seeing Captain America, quite alarmed by that. Him stepping forwards with a cosmic cube in his hand, telling her he's ordering her to stand down. Ordering me? Yes. Now, are you going to comply? No, I don't think I will. What are you doing, Rogers? I'm doing what I've been ordered to do. Now, are you going to comply? You're not working for S.H.I.E.L.D., are you? No, I'm not. Hail Hydra. Her eyes going wide for rushing at Steve Rogers. And we do actually cut back to Izuku, who currently just got shot through an asteroid the size of Texas. Him smashing backwards into it and going to sit there for a minute. The servos moving towards his Deku, he does go to move out of this massive crater, this massive dent, floating forwards and watching the asteroid move back. Still in awe. It's quite the feat. Quite the thing. Captain America isn't even going to fight his own battles. He sends a person after him. No, this is Hyperion. Hyperion is not from Earth. He does live, yes, but he's killed worse people. This being another version of a supervillain? Yeah. One who, from what he heard, has been around? That doesn't mean too much. If it does mean it, he's going to have to kill. And Deku, he is fine by that. Hyperion moving in as to throw his hand out. Currently, Deku going to catch the hand as Hyperion, he does go to watch. Deku flying forwards as his boosters do to still fire off. Deku throwing a rocket punch directly in Hyperion's face. The booster on his elbow firing off with as much force as it can, currently directly across Hyperion's jaw. And Izuku, he does go to do one thing, currently blasting his boosters and making his way back towards Earth. He's got an idea. something that he does need to do. A way to destroy and kill Hyperion. He's gotta fire a shot, a very powerful one. And if things do work, then it will mean everything. Currently, Deku blasting him back down and currently smashing into another asteroid. The two passing through it as they do go directly towards Earth. And Izuku, he does continue to charge his arc reactor. Slow down, maybe that might draw suspicion. Hyperion smashing directly into and up into Deku's gut, trying to break anywhere into his suit. And Izuku does feel the pain smash into him, before his suit is to tell him about the integrity going down a little bit. And Izuku, he doesn't even bother. He sees it on the screen. He knows where it's at. He's still above 85. He'll be alright. And Hyperion, he is going to use smash blows directly into Izuku, before Deku's going to finally smash in the atmosphere and go to blast the arc reactor down into Hyperion. Him being let go from this massive attack blasts him in the chest. Currently, him being sent flying down and smashing into the ground, before a massive explosion does go off, shaking the state they landed in. Now, Deku, he does get to watch that, before flying down and figuring out where they are. Violet telling them that they are currently in the wilderness, and there is no town around for about 70 miles. And Izuku, he's thankful that those calculations were somewhat correct. Wilderness, 70 miles, still within the 100-mile perimeter he wanted. Huh, guess he still has got to get better at tweaking that. Hyperion going to stand, his shirt torn and bloody, most of it gone, or left in space. And the man does get to bring his hands up, his eyes glowing along with his hands, ready to kill Iron Man. And Deku, he does get to do one thing. He does go to turn his arm directly into another weapon, bring his left arm up and going to create another weapon as well, before he does go to have something form onto his back and on to his right shoulder. Currently, him looking down and seeing this. Before Hyperion, there's a blasting back up at Deku. Deku throwing his left hand out and blasting on a sound weapon, it beginning to have Hyperion recoil and scream out, grabbing his ears. For Deku does go to blast down at him with the special radiation gun. Now, it is to fire the beams of energy directly at Hyperion, him smashing down and into the ground. And Izuku, he does go to begin shifting everything. The massive weapon on his shoulder beginning to morph around as Deku does grab it. Him going to pull it directly off of his shoulder and aiming it with his hands, before firing it down into Hyperion and watching the man, who already laid there weakened, more bloody, before the weapon to smash through and blow him up. Currently, Deku, watching as the crater that does remain, does have his body. It does have him, currently damaged, dead, or too weak to move. Deku doesn't know. All he knows is he laid in that crater longer than he should have. So he took that as his sign to leave. Currently him going to look away, going to fly off. And Hyperion, his hand was twitching. Now, we do have over with Captain America, who he does go to stand there, thinking about a lot. He's going to win. He's got a lot of people backing him, and right now, it feels good. It's great. And Izuku, he does come flying down, seeing Captain America dressed all up in his new uniform, the director of S.H.I.E.L.D. And Izuku, he does tell Captain America to stand down. He took out his guard dog. And Deku does go look at the man, who does go to stare at him, before Steve Rogers smiles. And this does slightly unnerve Izuku, trying to figure out why that might be. Trying to find out why this man in front of him would smile that way, smile that wide. And he does get a look down at Captain America, who does go to tell him that maybe he should try and think a little bit more. Deku bring his hand down. Before he does, gonna pull Captain America off the ground with some gravity tech. Currently, him flying up directly towards Izuku. And Deku does tell him, what did he do? Me? I haven't done a thing. Cap throwing his hand out and smashing Iron Man across the face. Deku a lot more alarmed as he does go flying backwards. Currently, Captain America being let go as he's at a fall. Right now, him smashing down hard as Deku does get back up onto his feet, looking up to see Captain America, who does get to bring his hand up, calling for his shield. And it does begin to levitate. Flying towards Mizuku does get to stare at Captain America, whose eyes are pouring with blue and white energy. And this does alarm him. Izuku staring on. For Cap does begin to step forward to the shield, talking about it. He doesn't understand how long all this took. They go flying forwards. Cap continuing again as he's a bring up the shield and Deku's a bring his arms over his head, bringing them down and smashing into the shield. Cap expressing, it took years to set up, and all that effort wasted because of him. He doesn't get it, does he? All of this was meant for a reason. Currently, Cap going to throw the shield forwards, smashing across Deku's face. Before he has a step forwards and Deku's a turn, dodging out of the way and bringing his hand up, grabbing Cap by his arm before he has to throw his foot out. Currently trying to smash it down into Deku's leg. And Deku's to take the blow before he's a turn. Cap going to throw the shield forwards and smash it directly into his face. Deku on the ground trying to do what he can. Trying to just think. Trying to just gain his own bearing. And somebody, they are currently watching the battle. They want to intervene. They want to help. But they know that their friend can handle this. They can help. But seeing if they can take him down first might be better. It's a little out of their league. But they're managing somehow. He really is incredible out there. That currently going through their mind. And we do have Deku, who does a turn looking at Hydra Captain America. Currently, him continuing to talk about how everything they're doing has been good. Deku having something pop up on the back of his shoulder blades. Currently, it screaming out looking at Cap. And the sound gun, it does go to send him careening backwards and a lot more off the back foot. Deku standing up and flying forwards. Drucky smashing into Cap and grabbing him by his suit, before flying up into the air and going up high, ready to take this man to space, ready to make sure he can not hurt anyone again. And Izuku, he does have the idea in his mind. Before he has to stop in the air and stare at Steve Rogers, the man holding onto Izuku as if he's being dangled for dear life. And he does a stare at Deku, telling him if he's a good soldier, he'd drop him. He would make sure to take out the enemy. Come on. He's waiting. He wants to see a real soldier. And Deku does stare at the man. This is Steve Rogers, the best of them. And look at him now. A Hydra agent? Why did you do it? Excuse me? Deku going to lower the faceplate before bringing Cap up to his face, asking, why did he kill Tony Stark? Cap going to look a little bit more puzzled for a second, looking ashamed, throwing his head forwards and going to try and blast Deku with his eye beams. Currently, Deku having the shield around his face block the attack and go to have them veer off course. Deku going to express, well then, that told him everything he needed to know. Deku letting go, and Steve Rogers is left to fall. Currently, him miles above the city, trying to gain his bearing on the situation. Currently turning and seeing the cosmic cube falling with him. And Izuku, he does go to fly down. Currently, him getting ready as he has to reach his hand out and grab at the cosmic cube. Before he has to turn and bring his air brakes up. And Steve, he has to bring his arms up, smashing down onto the ground. Currently, him going to sit there for a sec, a lot more damaged, a lot more worried and concerned. He survived the impact. That cosmic energy definitely did help him. But now, it's got him tired. The suit's damaged, and it's leaking this crap. Shit. I might need to retreat. Call in the big guns. No, with this suit out of commission, that's going to be an issue. He needs the cosmic cube. Without it, he can't do it. And that does mean a lot. Before there is Deku, who does stand there, holding the cube in his hand, thinking about what this might be. He's heard of these things, never actually held one. And now here it is. But he does begin to hear something before he does go to turn. And someone, they do to bring their hand up onto the cosmic cube. Deku's eyes going wide. Before the real Captain America, he does stand there. Currently, his own hand and glove on the cosmic cube. Before Deku does get stare at him. Steve? Nice to see you again, Tony. Deku having his helmet begin to at least shift around, showing off his actual face, along with his hair. It retracting all the way as Deku does have it go down to his neck. I'm not Tony, sir. Huh? Where is he? Where's Rhodey? Oh. You have been gone for a long time. I was hoping you would know me. Who are you? Izuku Midoriya. I've been Iron Man for almost 10 years. 10 years. Yeah. I took over after him. Both of them looking down towards the Hydra version of Steve Rogers, who he does go to stand there angry, annoyed, and out of power. This enraging him, making him mad, and he does it to hold onto the shield, chucking it at Steve Rogers and yelling at him that he made them wake. Steve bringing his hand up, catching the shield and going to hold it, telling this soldier, that he lost. He needs to stand down and surrender, because otherwise the alternatives may not be that easy for him. I'm going to turn, and Deku does go to have something pop up on his sensors. His visor shooting back down his violet does begin to inform him about how the readings are showing off massive levels of cosmic energy, and how these readings do not conform to any chart they do have. And Deku, he does go to see what exactly is happening. His sentry system has been alerted. The guardsmen's, they are all aware of something, and they are aiming directly at space. Now, Deku does gonna fly up. Currently, him making his way out and towards the threat, as we do actually have Galactus. Deku, he does gonna meet him way out past the Earth's moon. Before he's gonna float there, the man flying up and expressing to this human that he is here for the energy he does sense. He needs to feed. And Deku does point Galactus away from Earth, telling him not to come here. And the man, he doesn't like this. He needs energy. Earth is giving off energy that he can sense, that he can feel, energy he wants to consume. And this, it is not, well, an option. Galactus must feed. And that is what he does going to tell this human. Dozuku does go to bring his hand up, telling Galactus to turn away from Earth. Deku making a weapon. And the man does stare down at this little human. For Deku does hold something in his hand, aiming it at Galactus. And Galactus, he does stare at Deku, who does hold a weapon aimed from his arm. And Galactus does begin to laugh. Before Izuku is a blasted out and pierce through the god's shoulder. Galactus moving backwards and feeling more alarmed. Before Deku does go to bring his hands up and expand his weapons. Currently, Deku's suit beginning to grow in size and take on a larger appearance. Galactus beginning to see exactly what this boy, no, what this thing in front of him can do. Now, Galactus, he does get to leave. And Izuku, he does go to feel the heat coming off of the weapon he put away in his arm. Though it does have him thinking. Currently, Deku setting the weapon to charge, knowing that this thing could do what he wants it to do. It could be a good weapon. That's what he's got in his mind. Currently, him flying back down towards Earth. And we do have Captain America versus Captain America. Now, we do actually have the two. Cap is rushing at his counterpart, throwing out the shield and bringing his left hand up. Currently, the evil Steve Rogers throwing his left hand out to catch his shield. And the moment as they make contact, the good Captain America does buckle his arm at the elbow, bring his hand in and coming under the arm, before uppercutting him in the hand, uppercutting him in the chin with his hand, and then going to move forwards, currently throwing himself up and bringing him down, slamming him to the ground. And the other, Steve Rogers, to try to throw the shield down towards Cap's head, causing him to duck and then bring his hand down, smashing his elbow, directly into his gut hard, throwing his left hand out and smashing across his face. and the evil Steve Rogers is going to throw his left leg up, currently into the good one's ribs. The two going to collide. Now, the evil Steve Rogers does get to turn it over. Currently, him on top this time, throwing his hand down. And Steve, he does get to throw his hand up, smashing a flat palm directly into Hydra Captain America's gut. And he does get to feel the wind get knocked out of him. Before he has a turn and roll, making his way to the shield, being able to grab it and turn. Before he has to hold it up to the good Captain America, talking about how they need to win. He doesn't get it. He never did. They can't do it anymore. And why is that? Because, have you met them? They're animals. They go flying down, and his arm does have the weapon still charging, before he is to hold it up to Captain America, talking about it. Does he believe that? And Deku, his visor does go lower, before the Hydra captain does get a turn, holding up the shield to him. And Deku, he does go to tell him. He doesn't think that will work for this. Really? You think so? I just scared off Galactus. I'm fairly certain this thing can do more than what I want to say it can do. Now, lower the shield. Turn yourself in, or I fire this weapon. And trust me, I used it to cut through an asteroid earlier. It will cleave through you like butter. uh, sure it will. If you're so confident in it, then just fire at me already. You're just going to prove my point. Currently, Deku staring on, before Steve Rogers does get a turn, telling Izuku not to try that. It's too risky to try and do. Either he punches through that shield, or nothing happens. The beam is split and causes more damage. Does he really want to try taking that risk? And Izuku, he is doing a little bit of adjustments. Him trying to make sure that this nozzle is tinier. Making sure that the focusing point is going to be simple. However, it's harder to do. He needs precise calculations. Precise everything. The way he's holding the shield. Okay. No. Go back to original calculations. Wait for that angle. Okay, almost perfect. Keep him talking. Deku telling him, bring up his left hand, that Captain America needs to stand down. This is out of his jurisdiction. He doesn't know what's happening, and he clearly doesn't know what this one did. Young man, you gotta remember, there are some times where you need to know when to do what you gotta do and when not to. What exactly is the point in fighting for what you believe in if you become a monster doing it? Do you really think that you want to kill him? Deku, looking at Captain America. Before he does, gonna turn back to Hydra Steve and blast out the weapon. And it does not fire fast. Currently, Hydra Cap, thinking that the shield will hold, thinking that everything is fine. And the blast is a smash directly into the shield, before it does begin to split. Now, the beam does go under the shield and smash right into his legs. Currently, him screaming out as he has to let go of the shield. It gonna fall as Deku, he does gonna watch it hit the ground. Him going to blast away the Hydra Captain America. And this does mean a bit. Now, Deku, he does gonna hold the weapon, before he does have it steaming from his arm and Steve does it a turn, yelling about exactly what the hell he did. Deku watching him run over and bend down, inspecting the wounds. And the evil Captain America does begin to wheeze out breath, still somewhat alive. He feels like hell, that's for certain. Though he's just gonna laying there. Deku gonna step in, bending down and grabbing Captain America's shield, inspecting the damage he left, staring at the hole that he made. It's there. He dented Captain America's shield. And this, it does have him alarmed. He tried to tone down things. If he did too much, then it would be bad. But still, it was enough. Going to walk over before holding the shield out to Captain America, who does a turn and grab it, holding up his finger and telling Deku that these two need to have a chat now that this is over. Not yet, Cap. What do you mean? We've got to find the others. I'm sure they'll be happy to see you again. And I do mean you. Fine. Now, the two do go to head back to the tower, and they do find evidence as to what Hydra Captain America has done to them. They do get them released, and after everyone is informed as to the situation, they don't believe it. I mean, some had speculation that this was the case. Others weren't too sure. I mean, Captain America turning evil? Not a chance. Anyways, now, Deku, he does stand there, informing the heroes about the evidence he saw, also informing them that if they do see Deadpool, to please get into contact with him, because he needs to have a bit of a chat with him. Now, everyone they do start to understand, and Captain America is properly welcomed back. And people, they do hear about what happened with Izuku. Being abducted months ago and hurt. Being the one who had to try and get this information out. This young man's faced off against a lot of things in his life. The Hulk, Thor, Ultron. Then he fought Hyperion. Then he had to kill Iron Man. Kill an evil variant to Captain America. I mean, the captain isn't too happy about it, but some people feel that Deku is justified. And Izuku, he currently does stand there. A lot going through his mind. Leaning on the balcony to Avengers Tower in New York City. He always thought that one day he would be in this building. Maybe as a superhero. Maybe as a secretary. Maybe in some way at all. Some scientific discovery or breakthrough. That's all he would need. And boom, the doors to the tower open. But that wasn't it. He had to go through a lot of hardship. And now look at him. You alright, son? Oh, yeah, I'm fine. You sure? You don't look fine. I've seen that face on plenty of men. Listen. Steve gonna lean over, handing Izuku a drink, talking about it. It's just an old cola and whiskey, if that's alright with him. I'll take it. It's probably better than most of the stuff I've been dealing with. Deku going to knock back a sip before Steve does go to put his arm on the railing, currently setting the drink down with his hand. Listen, son. Izuku? Is it alright to call you Izuku? I don't feel right calling you, It's fine. Izuku works. Right. Okay. Listen, Izuku. I've. I'm not too sure how to deal with everything. I'm evaluating you, testing you, seeing where you are. You're an interesting case. Trying to get a read on you doesn't seem easy. Yeah, I would assume it's not. It's been a complicated couple of years. So I've been filled in. Listen, if you ever need to talk, call me. Reach out. Make sure to stay informed. We need to know where you're at. If we need to call on you, or if we do need your help, we'll need to know. Do you understand, son? I do. Can I rely on the same? Of course. What kind of man would I be if I didn't stick to my word? If I'm asking you to it? I kind of do see a bit of a difference. In the way you two act. The other Rogers and you. Somehow you're more genuine. I'm just being myself, son. I see that. I appreciate it. Listen, Deku turning, expressing. There's a lot he needs to do. He's pretty sure he's already missed a few birthdays, and that's already enough more than he'd like to. Hmm? What do you mean? No, sorry. My whole concept of time is messed up. Maybe it's for the best if you take some time off. Does that sound fair? Maybe you're right. I have the perfect place to actually go to. And speaking of that, I have the perfect idea. Currently, Deku smiling before he has a turn and go to finish the rest of his drink. Currently going to step a few steps away from Captain America and going to bring his hand up to his chest, pressing a button as his suit does begin to appear. The secondary skin going to wrap around Izuku, bring his hands down as it'll blast up into the air and go to sit there for a minute. The suit beginning to form as Deku, he does go to watch it begin to take shape and mold around him. Currently the Mark 12 going to finish. And Izuku does it fly off quickly with a plan. And Cap did look up at that. He just watched a suit build a ton of mechanical parts out of nowhere and fly off. Technology sure has come a long way. Turning and taking a sip of his cola. Now, with that being said, we do actually have later. It took a little bit more convincing and a lot more planning, but Izuku decided to take some time off. He contacted Riri and let her know a bit more about the situation. She was aware of something going on with Captain America, but she was dealing with her own little bit of problems. Now that that's all over with, yeah, she's in charge of New York City. Along with that, he does want to actually hire her on. See what she can do. If she can help build a team. That would be perfect. They already have someone on the West Coast. They have someone on the East Coast. The Avengers need to be worldwide. People need to be everywhere to protect what they believe in and what they love. And speaking of love, we do cut to a Tillin, where a jet, it does go to have passengers begin to step off. And in Comodoria, she does get to step off this jet looking around, seeing what's going on, seeing what's happening, before Deku does come to walk over. Currently, him going to walk up the ramp and turn, before he does gonna bring his hands down and grab his daughter, Jasmine. Now, he has to pull her up, talking about how they're all gonna be going on a bit of a trip. And she just won't laugh. Deku walking over and handing his nearly 3-year-old daughter to his mother, talking about how he's gonna fly this thing. And Friday does a turn in the chair, expressing to him how she is fully capable of flying solo. Deku taking a seat in the seat next to her, before he does go to strap in and begin to turn. Currently, him flicking a few things and turning back to Friday, telling her, bringing his hand up, that he knows, though having a good co-pilot is a good excuse. Still avoiding them? More like trying to get them to talk to each other. Though, think of it from what they're probably looking at it as. My wife is sitting in a cockpit, well, a space vessel, with not only her daughter, but my parents, and 2 of the women I've slept with, under mind control. I see. Enough tension to create a new landmass from several continents? Probably. I wouldn't be so surprised. Yes, I do see. Alright then, our final stop is Genosha. Yup. Perfect. The vehicle going to fly off. And right now, they do go to find Polaris. Now, the vehicle, whenever it does come flying down, Deku does request permission to land in Genosian airspace. And whenever Magneto does hear that Deku is coming by, Deku also did make it a point to express that Wanda was on his craft, along with Aurora, people who are mutants and who can give them, quote unquote, proper access to Genosha, as it is a mutants only place. Now, Deku, he does go to talk to Magnus as the bird landed. And the man, he is happy to see his grandchildren. But seeing Aurora here, seeing Storm here, that was definitely something surprising. However, Wanda was here with her father, there was Dinah. She was not that ready for this. It's definitely going to be a little weird. Awkward? Very awkward. But she might as well just get this over with. Her walking out and currently with her and Izuku's daughter. And Izuku, he does go to walk back over and greet his parents with her. And they're quite happy to see her. Before they do, go to come down the ramp and pull her into a bit of a hug. Hasashi a little bit more surprised. Two grandsons and four granddaughters. Well, isn't that quite the interesting little feat? Ham giving Izuku a little bit of it, though Deku does try to tell his dad not to make those jokes. And Asashi does understand. Before they do go to leave, and Deku, he does talk about a place that he has rented, where he's to turn and see Magnus there. Currently him sitting down inside the vessel. That no one's going to know that they're there. And everything else is going to be simple. No security alerts will be going off, no workshops will be going off, and no building is going to be going on there. The only mechanical engineering is going to be trying to figure out how to get the TV to work. Or fixing something that does possibly break. If that does happen, he has a turn. Currently going to leave things to Friday as is a stand. Going to make his way in to the back of the ship, telling his family about the vacation he has planned for them and how everything happening is going to be fun. And it should definitely help figure some stuff out. And the ship is a flight through the air quietly before it is a land at a very luxurious spot. And everyone, they do to make their way down the ramp. As Deku, he does a stand here. He's got his family. He's found a family. Found it in crystal. Found it in people who weren't human. Found it in people who were human. Even learned a bit more about that himself. Even though, well, he's no longer human. The part of himself that is, that heart still beating in his chest, he's found a way to protect it. Not just that heart, but he's found a way to put a heart around the world. That on Izuku's mind. The guardsman still flying around the planet. The one posted on Attilan, and the one posted in Genosha. 4 guardsmen. 1 world. That might just be manageable. And Deku does currently sit there, leaning back in a chair, with some glasses on his face, a cocktail in his hand, and with some SPF 50, hearing the waves rolling in, before Crystal does get to sit down next to him. Her asking if he's going to be enjoying his vacation? Oh, I do plan to. After I finish this little thing right here, I plan to spend some time with Jasmine. Really now. And, trust me, I know what I'm doing. Though, I definitely do think that she's going to love sandcastles. Now, with that being said, I do believe that that is a very good point to end this story on. And I do hope you guys enjoyed. And this one's been quite a long series, but because it was more Iron Man based, more technical, I felt like I had to draw some stuff out. The whole mystery about who killed Tony Stark, though, I've been building that up to Hydra Captain America since the very beginning. And I do kind of hope if you guys do look back on it and look at the way I've had Captain America kind of act, you might be able to see it. I actually do think that there were genuine points where I forgot about the storyline, so he does act a little normal. But I know that the points where I do remember it, you might be able to tell where. Anyways, with that being said, I do hope you guys enjoyed this series, and I do hope I made it well. Now, goodbye.